Hello my dear friends, this is Andy from FlipPop. Welcome to another episode. In this video I'll be tackling the dresser of this French provincial set that was renovated for a little girl who dreams of princesses. Come with me to see how I transform trash into princess furniture. If you haven't seen the video of the nightstand, I'll leave a link on the description below. Also, as it is summer here in Chile, you'll find 7 beach-related images. A whale, a seagull, a starfish, the sea, an octopus, a shark, and dolphins. Tell me in the comments below if you found all of them. These drawers were destroyed, bottoms loose, and those awful pulls. Someone had nailed a piece of trim on the bottom of this drawer so as to prevent it from warping. That bag had become loose with time. I'll start by removing the top with those horrible flathead screws. I'll hand sand the 10 ends to get rid of some of the old glue. Then I'll use wood glue and let it dry overnight. Meanwhile, I'll start sanding the top. It is solid wood, so I'm not worried about sanding a lot. I'll sand the bottom first in order to get rid of the first layer of dirt and grime, and also the smell. I started with 120 grit sandpaper and then finished with 180 grit. The top was really dirty, and I thought that some of the water damage would require oxalic acid, but fortunately it didn't. Now it was time to disassemble the drawers. The sides are so worn out that you can see scratches because of constant friction. Here you see me trying to save these side panels. I will later realize that they are too far gone. I didn't struggle with the hardware too much this time. As I'm not reusing it, I just pried it with a putty knife. Trying to save the side panels. Sometimes you just can't accept the facts. It was time to vacuum everything. I'll scuff sand the entire piece with 120 grit. Those dividers on the front of the pieces wobble a little, so I'll have to do something to fix them. Those metal feet need to go. And now finally it is time for the first coat of paint. I'm using Sherwin-Williams Creamy White. This is a very strong water-based enamel that dries really hard, and it doesn't need either primer or top coat. Although it is in satin finish, therefore I'll give everything some coats of poly and gloss finish. I'll paint the legs first. Here you see me fighting with the hardware again. Finally, after fighting a lot, it was time to sand the drawers. The wood was really dirty. Now the top had that router detailed that really needed to be sanded by hand. After what seemed like an eternity, it was time to finish sanding with 180 grit. I finally convinced myself that I need to remake the drawers. The groove for the bottom panel is almost flush with the end of the drawer. There is no way to make them work. Some cleaning to erase the grain before sanding it for the very last time. I decided to reinforce that side of the dresser. So I drilled pilot holes and then attached an L bracket with screws. I also secured the wiggling dividers with the same L brackets. Now for the top. I'll continue with the same treatment. I'll start by applying a whitewash to cancel all the yellow hues. This is one of the old panels. I try to make a new groove, but it is so worn out that it doesn't slide well into the dresser. I got some scrap plywood cuts from the sales section at my local hardware store. So I'll use them to make new sides for the 3 drawers. I'll close the hardware holes using a 2-part epoxy putty. And it is time to sand the new side panels. The plywood needed some wood filler to get really smooth. It'll be painted because it is for a girl, but anyway, I want it to look great. And it was time for my second coat of paint. This time I'll use a soft brush instead of a roller. I sanded the epoxy putty, also known as Bando, with 120 grit. All the rest of the imperfections, for instance this nail hole, will be covered using wood filler. As the wood filler needs to go inside the grooves, I'll try to keep the shape with my putty knife. Now, second stain. After the whitewash, I'll give it a coat of walnut extract. The hue starts changing towards my desired goal. So many old nails. Oops. Wood glue and clamps. Now it is time to measure the sides. The ducktail joint now is too narrow. I'll have to widen it for the new side panels. Excellent. Now wood glue and new nails. I drilled some pilot holes for the new nails. The fronts need new grooves. The old ones were too low. With my router, I cut new grooves on the fronts. And on the side panels. Beautiful. Now the last stain, mahogany. It'll give the top a reddish hue, and with the underlying tones, it'll look cartoony. I'll reuse the bottom panels. They can be saved with a little bit of paint. Look at the old runners. They are too worn. Years of use and low maintenance. Look at that one. They are solid wood, so I'll just turn them over and use them on the opposite sides. If you're still here with me at this point in the video, thank you so much. I truly appreciate you being here. It honestly means a lot. If you're enjoying this video, you're very welcome to give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. If you'd like to support the channel, you can also take a look at the links in the description below. And if you feel like becoming a little bit closer to this small community, you might enjoy becoming a channel member. Members get special updates and a few extra pieces of content made with lots of care and love. Now it is time to go back to the nightstand. I cut some trim, and I'm going to attach it under the drawer in order to apply a couple of magnetic locks. They close pretty well. Look who's come to say hello, Mr. Milo himself. He's such a cute boy. He's full of love. Water-based polyurethane in gloss finish. And my second art attack project. I hope YouTube doesn't block me for using Elsa and Anna. I printed some images that I found on Google Images in my inkjet printer, and that's what I'm using. To apply the decoupage, I'll start by applying a thick coat of poly on the surface. Then I place the paper with care, and I try to press down the bubbles with my fingers. With a piece of plastic wrap, I try to smooth all the wrinkles, although here you can see a big one. and then I seal it with more poly on top. More poly everywhere and beeswax for the runners and the drawer. My Milo, always full of love. Just a moment, him and me alone. Now it was time to clean the inside of the dresser. As I didn't take it completely apart, I never sanded it inside, so I'll wash it and rinse it thoroughly. Now sealing the top, I'll give it at least 6 coats. The runners in their new position need some adjustment. I'll secure them with wood glue and screws. The drawers need some adjustment. The back is a little too wide. Perfect. I'll sand the top with 400 grit to make it extra smooth between coats of poly. Second coat of pink paint. I'll mask the sides to get crisp lines. Sealing the bottom panels with glossy poly. and the sides as well. Last minute cleaning with 180 grit. As the bottom panels were warped, I'll make them flat using pieces of trim. I'll secure the back of the panel with a brad nail and a regular nail. As for the front, I'll cut these little pieces and nail them to the front panel, securing the trim. Final coat of white paint. And again, painting all the grooves gold. Look who came to show off his new hairstyle. And of course, he wants the attention. Hardware holes. And more frozen princesses. Finally putting the top back. Last coat of poly on the top. Beeswax for the runners and the drawers. And the hardware for the nightstand. Do you remember that awful, dirty, and destroyed dresser? Here it is now. The girl absolutely loved it. It will grow with her as a magic set in her bedroom. What do you think about this transformation? Leave me your comments below. And see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.